Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hey folks, Trump's pissing off Pakistan and India, and well, there's this little video here you can watch here to explain more about that.
That Donald Trump and India TV, like the show called Vantage with Palki Sharma, they are mocking Donald Trump and calling him a taco in India. Trump always chickens out. Now, the factors that make India really pissed off at Donald Trump. Number one, Donald Trump continues to lie that he dangled trade in front of India and Pakistan and that Trump was responsible for the ceasefire. That's very offensive to the people of India because they say, no, we had a successful military operation after a terrorist attack in Kashmir. And as a result, Pakistan asked for the ceasefire. This was a bilateral deal. The United States did not negotiate this ceasefire. India is also very pissed, and I've been hearing this a lot at the Midas Touch Network, about Donald Trump's punitive measures against Indian students in the United States. These are people who have applied and have been studying here. I mean, we're talking about close to 200,000 people. I think the number is 140,000, but somewhere between 140 and 200,000 going to some of the top universities in the United States and colleges and universities throughout, whose lives have been upended. Another area of why India is pissed is that Donald Trump continues to threaten companies not to build manufacturing plants in India. And India is like, look, we're trying to do a deal, with you guys, but you're making it very difficult to do a trade deal when you keep on attacking the people of India. It's also been pretty great to know here at the Midas Touch Network how big and robust our following is in India. So shout out to all the Midas Mighty in India who watch this, and the Midas Mighty people from India who are watching here in the United States and across the world. So let's go through what's going down, and let me bring you sources directly from India that I like. Showing you Vantage with Palki Sharma calling Donald Trump a chicken. Play this clip. And here, Palki Sharma just nails it about why people in America and now the world are calling Donald Trump a taco and a chicken. Play this clip.
Nobody likes being mocked, but Donald Trump, he hates it like nothing else. And this is a man who dishes out nicknames every day. Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe Biden, Comrade Kamala, Gavin New Scum. And the list goes on. But if you give him a nickname, he lashes out. The US media has a new name for Trump's policy moves. It's called taco. Trump always chickens out. They say the president always makes a U-turn after raising the stakes. Trump made it clear yesterday that he does not like the word, but the internet doesn't seem to care.
As I mentioned, one of the big factors that is pissing India off is Donald Trump taking credit for the ceasefire when he had nothing to do with it. Palki Sharma explains. Play this clip.
When delusion bleeds into policy, it's no longer a joke, it becomes a threat. And that's the thing about Donald Trump's presidency. His wild claims, they make headlines, they make us laugh, we roll our eyes. But what happens when the fantasy starts writing the laws? And legal cases stand on made-up facts. Then the cost is not just political, it is global. And right now, it's playing out in a US courtroom. It starts with Trump's tariffs. Back in April, he slapped tariffs on the whole world, his idea of a so-called Liberation Day. Those tariffs faced multiple lawsuits. The matter went to court in America. Trump's team jumped to defend it. They said pausing the tariffs would revive the India-Pakistan conflict. Pausing the tariffs would revive the India-Pakistan conflict, a conflict that the US was not involved in. But somehow it would impact American tariffs. Talk about delusion. First, Trump says he mediated a ceasefire. Now his officials claim that Trump's trade war is crucial for peace in South Asia. In other words, world peace now depends on Trump's tariffs.
Here she is again talking about it. Let's play it.
And it's here in this court that Trump's team made the arguments to defend his tariffs. And what's their defense? If you take away Trump's tariff powers, India and Pakistan might go to war. Basically, they had to make up a national emergency on the go, and they decided to go with this one. I wish I were making this up. But this is what they said in a court filing. Let me read it out for you. This ceasefire was only achieved after President Trump interceded and offered both nations trading access with the United States to avert a full-scale war. An adverse ruling that constrains presidential power in this case could lead India and Pakistan to question the validity of President Trump's offer, threatening the security of an entire region and the lives of millions. Can you believe it? As you know, Pakistan-backed terrorists killed 26 people in India's Pahalgam. India responded by targeting 9 terror facilities in Pakistan. It continued until Pakistan sued for peace. Islamabad reached out to India. The two sides agreed on a ceasefire, and that was the end of it. India says Donald Trump was not involved in any of this. Yes, the US was speaking to both sides, but his trade deal was not the reason for peace. It was India's strikes on Pakistan's military bases. That is what spooked them. Trump's tariffs were not even a consideration. Yet Trump claims that he was the peacemaker. Now, India has repeatedly debunked this claim, but Trump's team has gone a step further. They say only his tariffs can prevent another conflict between India and Pakistan. Of course, the court saw through all of this. They have shot down Trump's argument. The American court has said that the tariffs are unlawful. It has halted the tariffs. But you can see the problem with this. When you turn courtrooms into story time, you're not just bending the truth, you're bending the system. Trump did not broker peace in South Asia. He brokered a lie and then tried to use it as a legal weapon. This is a dangerous precedent. It's a warning to the rest of the world because in Trump's America, reality is optional. If we just keep laughing it off, soon the joke is going to be on us.
Now, the students from India are also worried that they're going to have their visas pulled, that Trump's going to be blocking all foreign students from getting visas into the United States, that their social media is going to be looked through by United States customs officials and Homeland Security. And if they don't like your post or they don't like something you've said, you can't come into the United States. Let's show you what they're talking about. Let's play it.
This could impact tens of thousands of students from India alone. Every year, thousands of Indian students apply for a US student visa. In 2023 alone, over 140,000 student visas were issued to Indians alone. That's more than any other country. And Trump's new orders effectively mean they may not make it to university this year. And even those who do face uncertainty. The rules are tightening, deportations are rising, and students face the risk of being sent back even when they commit a minor infraction. This week, the US Embassy in India issued a warning. Students who skip classes or leave their programs without notice could lose their visas and future visa rights. The message was clear: follow the rules or face the consequences. But the rules themselves are moving targets, because this crackdown is political too. Consider what US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been saying in recent months. He's been calling for cancelling student visas, revoking permanent residency status or green cards, and scrutinizing the social media history of visitors.
Talks about Trump's trade tactics and what's going on, kind of as there's this search for a deal. Play this clip.
As we speak, he's negotiating a trade deal with India. But he's complaining a lot about America's trade with India and about India's tariff regime. Trump keeps calling it unfair. He says the US runs a $44 billion deficit with India, and he wants to balance the scales. But Trump's claims are based on flawed data. An Indian think tank has crunched the numbers, and turns out that it's America, not India, that is running a trade surplus. Every year, the US earns $80 to $85 billion from India and Indians. And this money comes from the services trade, from fees that US businesses collect, from Indian students studying in the US, and from a wide range of licensing deals. Let's break down the numbers for you, starting with education. Every year, Indian students spend over $25 billion in the United States. This includes tuition and living costs, two of the biggest expenses for any international student. $15 billion is spent on tuition, another $10 billion on living costs. That makes America's total earnings from Indian students $25 billion a year. Then we have the tech sector. We're talking about companies like Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. How much do these companies make in India? Anywhere between $15 to $20 billion. And how do they earn this money? By offering a host of services like digital advertising, cloud services, app stores, subscriptions, software. Thanks to lax data and tax rules, all this revenue flows back to the US. Next, we have American banks and consultants. We're talking about players on the Wall Street and major advisory firms. They manage investments and mergers. They advise businesses. They offer services. And for that, they earn anywhere between $10 to $15 billion. Next on the list is pharma. US companies make $2 billion from India. This is through patents, drug licensing, and tech transfers. Auto companies add another $1 billion. This is through the sale of components and design services. And finally, we have Hollywood. The movie business and the streaming services, they too earn over $1 billion from India. If you add all of this up, the US is easily raking in $80 to $85 billion from India. America is not losing, as Trump puts it. It is winning. These numbers should be taken into account in India's trade talks with the United States.
And here's one more clip from that as well.
But Donald Trump keeps making new demands. He keeps asking for new concessions. He could be building pressure in many ways to influence the talks. And I'll give you one example. Today, the US Embassy in India issued a warning directed at Indian students studying in the United States. If they take a leave without informing the university, they could lose their student visas. They can be disqualified from making any future visa applications. And that's not all. Trump is targeting remittances too. That's the money Indians working in the US send home to their families. Remittances. Trump is pushing a new budget bill. It is called the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's what it's called. This bill imposes a 3.5% tax on remittances. Right now, there is no such tax. A new tax on remittances will hit thousands of Indians in the United States, especially those on H-1B visas and green card holders. Once the bill is passed, every time they send money home, they will pay more. So Trump is attacking remittances too. He's also going after Indian manufacturing. He has threatened Apple and Samsung. Both these companies make their phones in India. Donald Trump wants to stop that. He wants these companies to make their phones in the United States.
So it's being reported in the Times of India. Talk trade, stop them from fighting. Donald Trump once again claims credit for India-Pakistan ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday again said he stopped India and Pakistan from fighting and that he told both countries that his government cannot trade with nations that are in conflict. Quote, "We stopped India and Pakistan from fighting. I believe that could have turned into a nuclear disaster," Trump said during the press conference in the Oval Office with Elon Musk. Trump said he wanted to thank the leaders of India and Pakistan. And let me just show you the clip of Donald Trump saying that he stopped India and Pakistan from fighting. And this has really pissed off the people from India. Play this clip.
"We stopped India and Pakistan from fighting. I believe that could have turned out into a nuclear disaster. And I want to thank the leaders of India, the leaders of Pakistan, and I want to thank my people also. We talk trade. And we said we can't trade with people that are shooting at each other and potentially using nuclear weapons. And they're great leaders in those countries, and they understood and they agreed. And that all stopped, and we're stopping others from fighting also, because ultimately we can fight better than anybody. We have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest leaders in the world. We put one of them in charge of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, as you know, General Raisin Kane. And We wiped out ISIS, completely wiped out ISIS in 3 weeks. They said it would take 5 years, and we did it in 3 weeks. And that's the way it is, but we don't want to have to use our military. We want to be peace through strength when we can. And that's the way we're going to have it.
Let me show you what's going on in the background as well. Quote, time has come. Moscow is seeking to revive its troika, its three-way relationship with India and China, and really bring that together. The foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, addressing an international conference, talked about trying to join India and China into a more significant alliance. I would like to confirm our genuine interest in the earliest resumption of the work within the format of the Troika, Russia, India, China, which was established many years ago on the initiative of the ex-Russian prime minister, and which has organized meetings more than 20 times at the ministerial level since then, not only at the level of foreign policy chiefs, but also as the head of other economic, trade, and financial agencies of the three countries, Sergei Lavrov said. The foreign minister was addressing an international conference, quote, as of today, I understand an understanding has been reached between India and China on how to ease the situation on the border, and it seems to me that the time has come for the revival of this broader three-way Russia, India, China, RIC format relationship. So seeing those types of relationships form, seeing China, South Korea, and Japan all meeting together, Trump's undone more than half a century of American diplomacy within 130 days. And you can see, and Palki Sharma captures this, I think, masterfully, what a clown the people of India think the United States is right now under Donald Trump. They both know he's dangerous and clownish at the same time. So shout out to Palki Sharma. Give her a subscribe to her channel. I think she's been doing great reports. I want to show you other perspectives other than just you hearing me blabber on here. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 minutes.
Thing is, Trump's got an image problem. Nobody likes him. and that's not just the United States, but that's the rest of the world. Nobody likes this fucking guy. He goes around, he makes shit up, tries to take credit for the people's accomplishments, and it's only because he can't accomplish anything for himself here at home. So what's he gonna do but lie? I mean, he does that so well. I mean, I don't think he even fucking knows what the truth is half the time. He just spits out a lie and he thinks, oh, that must be true. If I said it, then it's true. There's only so much of that people are going to take. And for him to try to take thunder away from what was accomplished between those two countries, just so he can bolster himself, I don't really think that people are buying what he's saying anymore. I really don't. I think the proof of that is how the Republican Party right now is turning on each other. They're, breaking ranks. And, there's dissent. And it's because Trump can't be genuine about anything. He can't. He can't be genuine about anything because everything that he does fails. And because he fails at everything, he has to go through life making up shit that he says he did and he didn't do. Okay? So, I feel like when the rest of the world is sitting here watching this country tear itself apart because we got a madman for a president, I just feel like, well, we can stop it. We, the American people, can stop this from continuing. We can. You just have to have the will to do it. And you got to put aside your ignorance if you can. You got to put that aside. You got to put aside your prejudices and all these things that made you do what you did before that got Trump elected. You got to put that shit aside for the greater good of the country. And if you really care about making America great again, then this shouldn't be an issue that's going to bother you any, because you'll actually be doing something for other people that you don't even know to help make their lives better. And you know, that's what part of being an American is all about, is doing for each other. We are a big community, or at least that's what we're supposed to be. And we stopped doing that when we started being selfish and looking out for number one, okay, when we should have been looking out for each other. Because really, when people aren't doing well, it affects all of us anyway. You know, think about that. And so, like I said, you know, when Joe Biden had said at Jimmy Carter's funeral that, you know, it takes a person with character to be a president, and he was looking at Donald Trump, I don't think Trump really gave a shit what he said to him, but I think other people that were there knew exactly what Biden was saying, and you can't deny that. Trump has no character, okay? He doesn't have any principles. He doesn't have any you know, morals, ethics, whatever, okay? He doesn't have any of that. He gave all that up just so he could be rich. And what a price he had to pay for that, because now he's just a shell of a man. Okay, he's got no ambition to do a damn thing except to just, you know, cater to his own whims, protect himself from prosecution, commit crimes, you know, and then lie about it, and then try to, you know, evade justice. I mean, this guy, his whole life is nothing but crime. And, you know, you can say what you want about Trump as a person, you know, if you voted for him, but you can't deny the man is rotten. He's rotten. And for some of you, you figured that out now. But for the rest of us, we knew this all along. We did not get the best kind of president when he was there the first time. And it was very obvious when we had that pandemic that he just wasn't there. He was, you know, vacant from the White House. He was out playing golf. He was out doing all kinds of shit. He was negligent. All right. That right there, and plus all the people that died because of his actions during that pandemic, you know, really stained in people's minds that the guy was a fucking asshole, okay? Not to be trusted. We knew this going into this second election, but so many others knew that we were going to vote against him, tried to do everything they could to change the topic, to do everything they could to change the narrative. And it worked, because for a lot of people, the issue during that last election wasn't about, you know, who was better to run this country, but what was happening in another part of the world instead. We put that, Israel and Gaza, forefront over our own election. And, you know, it's like, well, why did, you know, and we know why. We know why, because it was conducive to Trump that people thinking about something else other than his own failures was going to get him back in the White House. And we fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. We did. We fucking fell for it. And now everyone has fucked around, and now they're finding out. Okay? And the rest of the world, well, like I said, they don't like him. They hate him. If I was India and Pakistan, I wouldn't work with the United States until Trump is gone. Until Trump leaves office, the United States is untouchable. Okay? They shouldn't be doing anything with this country. They need to just leave it on its own. Okay? And if Trump doesn't like that, too bad. You know what the price is. You want to do business with us, then you have to resign from the White House. And I think that's really the only way you can deal with a guy like that, is you have to turn the table on him and basically take control of the deal by saying, you can have these things, Trump, but you have to resign. Give up your White House. Okay, if it really means that much to you, then you won't think twice, because, you know, the White House don't mean that much to him. Not more than his money. You just tell him, look, you can have this if you want, but you have to resign. You gotta leave. you know. And I think Canada should be doing that. I think Mexico should be doing that. I think England, Britain, whatever, you know, EU, they should be doing the same thing. Say, look, we see what you want, but if you want it, you got to resign. End of story. And don't waver from that. You know, let him know we don't like you. So anyway, that's it for what I got to say to that.